Oh, oh my. Alright, how you guys doing? Apologize if I don't look too presentable right now. I just came from the gym, you know, getting rid of that quarantine body. The gym is finally open, so I can probably make a new video out of that. But anyways, oh, I guess I'm recording this on Halloween, am I? Well, I hope you guys had a wonderful Halloween. I hope all of you guys stayed safe. You should already know we're still in a pandemic, so try to be careful out there. So for this video, we are going to continue on the series on how to play my game, Kings and Duels. This video is pretty much gonna cover the king. The king is a very important card to know because it is pretty much like the most important role in the entire game. And there are things that you need to keep in mind with the king. Let's cover a little bit of what the king was from the last video. So I'm gonna bring a few king cards out to show you what they can look like. Sometimes kings can have large abilities, lots of abilities, and some other kings can be generic. It all depends on what card you play, and also what cards I create, because you know, I make the cards here. Let's recap on what the cards are. I'm gonna have it focus on this because when I watched my past video, I realized it wasn't very clear. So here's a name. We got the creature, the element, the level, you know, and you can see here, this is the king role, and that's how you know that this card is a king. Sometimes king abilities can have the number on the side of it, and that is the amount of uses of the ability per card. If this card was on the field, Luminance Dragon, in the king slot, you can have the ability to negate a destroy ability. You can only use that ability up twice. Once that's done, you don't have any more uses left, so it's just a king. It's a king with no abilities, pretty much. Sometimes kings can get a little crazy, and I want to say that this is like the signature boss monster that I created. Now moving on, what does the king do? The king serves as the catalyst of your field. It is the only card that's always going to be on your field the entire game. So you cannot play this game until you have a king on the field. So how this works is that in the beginning of your game, when you take your deck, take a level 0 king and you place it on the field. I'm gonna cover it a lot more in the phases, in a video talking about the phases. But yeah, you start out the game with the king and you end it with the king. Furthermore, in the catalyst role that the king plays in, all battle damage will be connected through the king. So here's the mirrored battlefield that I showed you guys in the last video, and you can see that here are the two kings. When I mentioned that the battle damage is connected through the king, that means that the king is the main target of your attacks. This is your only way of attacking directly. So in other words, the only way to give battle damage to your opponent is by having frontline creatures and attacking the king. So if you have a frontline creature over here and there's no creature on the opposing side, you attack directly and you deal damage. Of course, I'll cover the battle damage a lot more in the video when I talk about the phases. But anyways, yeah, that is pretty much the only way, the main primary way to inflict battle damage. Keep that in mind. Next, I also mentioned that the king also serves as the limiter, the level setter of the field. So what that means is that on your field, the only creatures you can play on your field are creatures up to the same level as the king you have. Alright, so here's the mat I created for the game submission. So here's an example. As you can see, this is a level 1 king called Moondrakos. If you have a level 1 king, you can play creatures up to level 1. So as you can see, I have two Blackfish Dragons here, and you can play them on your front line because front line is the only role it has. You cannot play creatures with the level higher than your king. For example, if you have Moondrakos on the field, you cannot play Luminance Dragon because Luminance Dragon's level is higher than Moondrakos, so it will only stay on your field. And of course, if you have a level 3 king, you can play any creature on the field because level 3 is the highest level in this game. So of course, the levels in this game go from 0 to 3. As I mentioned before, 2 players start out with a level 0 king, and each turn they are given the opportunity to upgrade their king once. So when you upgrade your king, you can only upgrade it to a creature like in order per se. For example, if you have a level 0 king on the field, you can only upgrade it to a level 1. If you have a level 1 king on the field, you can only upgrade it to a level 2. You know, it should be pretty easy to follow. And when you are upgrading your king, you are given 3 options. Furthermore, when you upgrade your king, you need to have the king cards in your hand. You cannot upgrade them from your deck, otherwise that'd be broken. Like, I don't want that. People are gonna freaking abuse that. The first option you can do is to sacrifice it. So for example, I have a Liberty Dragon on top of the field, and I'm going to upgrade it to a Luminance Dragon to a level 3. So I place Luminance Dragon into the king slot, and Liberty Dragon goes to the graveyard. The second option is to reassign a king. So if your king has another role on top of it, you have this option to reassign it to another role. So for example, let's go again with the Luminous Dragon here. I'm going to put into the king slot, and because Liberty Dragon can go into the front line or back line, you can go in any role wherever you want. So for instance, I'm going to place Liberty Dragon into the frontline vanguard. Also, to take note, when you reassign a king, it does not count as like your one summon, or for instance in this game, your call. So you can still get like 1 free creature on the field, but I'm still gonna cover that in the other videos. Your third option as to what you can do with your king is called soul placement. On the field, each creature slot has this stack, potential stack. You guys already know what armaments are, and armaments go on top of the creature card. However, underneath your creature is the creature's soul. So each creature on the field will have a soul. That includes your king. If I chose the soul placement option for your king, all you do is keep your old king in the king slot, and your new king will be over it. So what it does is it has a resource under it. This is a mechanic I created. I've made a lot of cards that are based around soul placement, and yeah, it should be really fun. There will also be cards that can activate when they're in the soul, but generally, you will only want to place a creature in a card's soul if it has an ability that has to do with it, with the soul. So this dragon deck that I created has nothing to do with soul placement, so I'd rather just sacrifice it or reassign it. There's one more thing about the king, and it's called D-ranking. And for some reason, if you want to use your upgrade, you're using your 1 upgrade to bring back a creature 1 level lower, and that's a D rank. And you'd still have the 3 options as to what you want to do with the old king, except reassigning it. And for some reason, you do want to D rank a king, and you actually do. So you take your Luminous Dragon, and I'll take the sacrifice option, and you D rank to a Liberty Dragon. All creatures on the field that are level 3 or a level higher than your new king is destroyed. Are filled with a bunch of level 3 creatures, and you take the option D rank. You D rank to a level 2 dragon creature. I'm taking the sacrifice route, and all these level 3 creatures that are higher than the level 2 king, they're wiped. They're destroyed. So I think that's pretty much it about the king. They really do play a very important role because they're always there. They're on your field. They play as your catalyst. The only way to inflict battle damage is through attacking the king. Yes, that means that if you attack a creature outside of the king slot, you don't inflict damage unless it has like piercing damage or something, which I'll get into in the future, of course. I would say this, I would develop this game more, but I've really finished everything about it. That's why I created this series, so I can share my entire game with you. I'm gonna say it again. Support my game, please. The only way you can support right now, of course, is to share. Yeah. Also, if you guys haven't noticed, this video comes out a week after my last upload. Usually I'd upload like once every 2 weeks, but I don't know, I've been having a lot of fun, like, making these videos. Yeah, I wanna find more time to make them. But yeah, stay tuned for more of these Kings and Duels videos, because I will be planning on making an entire series. But yeah, I hope all of you are staying safe in this pandemic. I hope you all find new things to discover. Anyways, I'll see you on the next video. Support my game again. And yeah. See ya.